Welcome to Keepin' It Real, your go-to radio show for fresh insights and vibrant introductions. Get ready to dive into a world where we offer you the latest in real estate wisdom and the juiciest community tidbits. From expert advice courtesy of top realtors to opportunities to give back through local charities, we've got you covered. Plus, we'll shine a spotlight on the young athletes driving our local sports scene and uncover the buzzworthy happenings both in town and beyond. Stay tuned for a jam-packed hour of enlightenment and entertainment right here on Keepin' It Real.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving service that we agree for military law and retirees. Stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trusted team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
All right, good morning and welcome to Keepin' It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team right here at Long Realty Studios. We're right behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard here for all your real estate needs, but today we've got some special guests and we're talking about a special event. I'm Dion Ethell, I'm your host, and I am joined today by Arlene Garcia, the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center supervisor with SVPD. Welcome, Arlene.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Lisa Radwill is also here in the studio today, Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, and she is the vice president and match chairman. Welcome to the show.
And thank you.
Okay, great. So today we're going to be talking about celebrating animals. It's the big annual event that we have every year. We love it. There's so many people come out to it. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about it. But before we do, Lisa, you haven't been on our show before. No. And so this is first time. And so we kind of want to get to know you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you come to Sierra Vista?
Well, I have been in the Sierra Vista area for the last almost 41 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I moved here from San Diego and fell in love with the place and have decided that this is going to be my forever home. And I've always been a huge animal lover. My poison is dogs. I joined the Kennel Club about 10 years ago. Actually, I think it's been about 15 years. And of course, we promote animal companion events. I always tell everybody my company uniform is navy blue and dog hair. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, what brought you originally here from San Diego?
I moved here. I was married to an electrical contractor, and I moved here from San Diego. Sadly, that didn't work out. He left. I stayed.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Well, thank you so much. I love being here.
Now, with the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, are you competitive there? Is there competition, or is there grooming or any other thing with that comes along with that club?
Yes, we are participatory with the American Kennel Club, and we are a sanctioned member of the AKC.
Okay.
And we promote conformation, breeding. We pair people who are looking for puppies, pair them with the right breeder, pair them with the right animal for them. If you're a couch potato, please don't get a border collie.
Right.
And think that it's going to make you
need a lot
run.
of work.
Yeah. So we offer a scholarship every year to a high school student who's looking to go into animal sciences. We donate to the shelters. We donate to the Border Animal Rescue. So We do a lot
Got
of
your hands in a
behind-
lot of
yeah,
stuff.
we do.
Okay.
But and we promote the companion events like match and rally and confirmation. We promote obedience. We offer training. So there's just
A lot of
whole
aspects
lot.
in it.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody was wanting to learn more about what you guys do you have a website or you have something you can go to?
Yes, we absolutely do. We have the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club website, and we also encourage people to look at the AKC if they're planning to leave the area. There's kennel clubs all over the world that are attached to the AKC.
Okay. All right, Arlene. So for those people who haven't met you, maybe tell a little bit about what you do and something about yourself.
So I'm originally from Puerto Rico, and like Lisa, I came to this area and absolutely fell in love with it. In 2004, my sister was stationed here in Fort Huachuca. My mother was living with her, helping her with her kids and things like that. I came to visit, said, I'm staying, and I did.
Isn't that the way it goes with so many people?
So wild. I mean, my family tried to convince me to travel with them as, she got stationed from place to place to place. But I decided to stay in Sierra Vista. Something about the fuchsia skies when I landed in February afternoon, February evening in the fuchsia skies. When I arrived to Sierra Vista, the dark skies and seeing the stars and then the mountains, because in my head, when I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to the desert in Arizona.
Different picture, right?
Yes, totally different. I was imagining coyote and roadrunner type of, atmosphere with the brown desert and saguaro cacti. But when I got here, it was so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I felt this calm. And I said, this is what I need. And
Wow.
I just decided to stay. I made this my home.
It's a big move. Yeah.
It's a huge move. Decided to make it my home. I have been with the animal shelter, the police department since 2008. The shelter opened on February 14, 2008, and it was the day that I started working for the Sierra Vista Police Department at the animal shelter. I was an animal control officer right up until 2013, I think it was, when I became supervisor, and I've been supervisor since.
Ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing that you actually started working there the same day it opened. So
Yes.
you have an amazing amount of knowledge and expertise over the facility as well, which is very unique to a lot of positions. So that's very cool.
As much as possible. It's my second home. I absolutely adore the shelter. I have a huge passion for it, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
You would have to. You are going to leave some huge, huge shoes to fill someday because you do so much. You're so involved. I've never seen you never sit still. You're always busy doing something, and there's just so much work that goes into running the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center. There's so much stuff that's going on in the background that nobody really knows about until you volunteer there.
Yeah, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but I'll tell you what, in the end, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
Because we're in it to help the animals who don't have a voice and need to be cared for. It's a rewarding job. It's not always easy. There are some very difficult times. We see some ugly things.
Yeah.
But it's rewarding in the end.
Well, animal control, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, during the show, but animal control as a whole, a lot of times, you're dealing with whether it be hoarding situations or other ugly things, or just a dog that has been hit by a car, or maybe is a stray, or just had puppies and nobody, they don't belong to anybody. Mm-hmm. And you see so many of those things. And a lot of people also don't realize how many puppies you guys raise. It's
Yes,
amazing, the number. It's crazy. Kitties too, you have cats also, and then some odd animals. If somebody calls you about an animal, it doesn't really matter what it is, you're going to respond. So what are some of the kind of the different animals that you guys have seen?
Well, actually, right now at the shelter, we have 2 little young rats that we're helping Murphy's Law get adopted. Murphy's Law is a local nonprofit organization. It's a rescue, helps dogs, cats, and lots of rats.
Rats,
pet rats.
definitely.
And for those of you out there who never had a pet rat, I am a rat lover. I'm a dog person. I married into a cat person. And so now I love kitties too. But rats, they are just amazing. Great first-time pet for young folks too. But we've had snakes, we've had sugar gliders. We've dealt with all sorts of reptiles and hamsters, gerbils. We get rabbits quite often.
Yeah,
occasional birds, parrots, just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Tortoises.
Yes, the tortoises. And our animal control officers deal with wildlife. Now we have a contract with the USDA, and so they help us out with the majority of the skunk calls and bat calls and things like that. But when he's not available, our animal control officers still respond to those types of calls.
Yeah, that's interesting that you even mentioned that, because I remember being at the shelter one time when somebody had gotten a call for a bat, and it was in somebody's house, and they captured this bat. I was like, I never really thought about that, but I guess it is an animal, so somebody's got to deal with it.
Well, and it's not just that it's an animal. Bats and skunks, people don't quite realize it, but they are in this area specifically. They can carry rabies.
Rabies, yeah.
They're one of the major carriers. So whenever there's a bat or a skunk that may have been in contact with a person or your pet, they have to get sent off for testing.
Yeah, it's kind of a whole ordeal, isn't it? The whole
is.
rabies thing. So, and then especially too, if it turns out it does have rabies, that's even a bigger deal.
Yes, because then you need to go see a doctor. You need to order rabies vaccinations for yourself, and it's a series, and they're painful. For your pet, it's very important for your pet to be current on a rabies vaccine, because potentially if your pet has been in contact with wildlife and it hasn't had a rabies
shot,
vaccine, it may need to be quarantined for up to 120 days.
Wow, 120 days.
Yes, and that is at the owner's expense at the animal shelter.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
That's why you see our animal control officers pushing so hard, get a rabies vaccine. Get a rabies vaccine. And you live in city limits and you haven't given your pet a rabies vaccine, you can get a ticket. That's why we're also on top of getting your pet's license.
Well, and we have so many different vaccine clinics and things like that throughout the year. It's not super hard to be able to take care of that.
No, and we're going to talk a little bit about the event that's coming up. And during this event, we are going to have an opportunity for folks to get their rabies vaccine at a low cost.
Awesome. Well, Arlene, let's talk about that a little bit, but let's do it right after a break. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back after we've gotten to know these two ladies here, and we'll come back and talk about celebrating animals. We'll be right back. Keeping it real.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Sherry's amazing team brings honesty, expertise, and a deep understanding of the local market. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned homeowner, they're committed to your peace of mind and handle every detail for you. Their approach? Personalized service. Above and beyond transactional real estate, building lifelong relationships, nationwide connections, local expertise. There's a reason this team is amongst the top realtors in Arizona and across the nation. You owe it to yourself to call or visit the Sherry Ethell Team, the top team at Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more info. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell. I am your host, and this is the Keepin' It Real radio show brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. And I'm joined here by Lisa Radwill. She is with the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, and she's the vice president and match chairman. And I am also, of course, with Arlene Garcia. Arlene is the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center supervisor with Sierra Vista Police Department. And we are talking about celebrating animals now. And so kick us off here, Arlene, with a little discussion. What is celebrating animals for those people who haven't been to it yet or maybe new to the area? What's it all about?
Okay, so I'm going to go what I think is way back. Around the time that I became supervisor, one of the things I realized is organizations that were animal welfare organizations in the very beginning when I first started working in this field, they seemed to be competing against each other. And one of our goals then became, you know what, we need to become more unified.
Yeah.
And we need to show the community that we are unified and that we are in it for the same purpose, which is, for caring for animals, whether they're shelter animals, purebred animals like the Kennel Club. we want to promote responsible pet ownership, which is why I absolutely support the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club. Sometimes you hear shelter workers say, oh, no, don't breed, adopt. And while that is true to a point, we don't condone backyard breeding. We don't condone irresponsible breeding. But I think it's absolutely important that certain breeds are responsibly bred. And that's what the Kennel Club is there for. I think that the Kennel Club really helps ensure that some breeds like your retrievers or German Shepherds, that they continue a clean line. So that's why we really believe that in the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, or the AKC. So celebrating animals, we contacted animal welfare organizations and we started to meet, and we used to call it All About Animals Cochise County. Then during these meetings, we would talk about different events that we were doing, everybody's mission, what are the needs. So we did a lot of networking. And one day, Linda Kuntz, who helped put this group all together, said, hey, why don't we have an event?
That's open to the public.
That's open to the public, and to show our community that all these animal welfare organizations are around our area and that we are in this together.
Love it.
And that's how Celebrating Animals started. And it was a very small event at first, just a few tents here and there that would blow in the wind every now and then. And every year it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I absolutely love it. During the event, we invite, like I said, all the animal welfare organizations from the area to come out and promote themselves. They can fundraise in their tent. The Kennel Club, which you'll talk more about that, they'll do mostly in the rally matches, and now they're going to be doing, what do you call it?
Canine Good Citizen Testing.
Good Citizen
and
Testing.
demonstration.
We'll definitely talk about that too.
Yeah, so we've had the snake guy out there. The Run Dogs Run comes out with their dog treadmill. We have various dog trainers that come out and promote what they do. Some are nonprofit dog trainers, like the Soldier's Best Friend. Horse and Around Rescue come out, and even Border Patrol will come out with their horses.
Right.
The 4-H group, and I mean, anything in Cochise County that you can think of that's animal related. They have been invited, and they'll more than likely be there. We'll also have food trucks, but this year we are having Dr. Nicole Finch come out in her mobile unit to offer low-cost rabies vaccinations, among other vaccines.
Do we know what those are going to cost yet?
For a 1 year, it's $15. If you're getting a 3-year rabies vaccine, it's $30. And we're offering the first box, which contains 25. The first box of microchips, we are going to provide those for free.
Wow. Now's your time to get in. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So it's a great time for you to come out with your family, with your well-behaved dog, to meet everybody in the community that's involved in animal welfare. In addition to animals available for adoption, so Sierra Vista Animal Shelter will be out there with their trailer and their animals available for adoption. Border Animal Rescue, Rescue Adoption Volunteers, also known as RAV, Little Angels. All these other rescue organizations are going to be out there having some pets available for adoption.
So I want to kind of separate just a second here and talk to Lisa about, she mentioned a little bit about what you do. And I love the fact that everybody's kind of coming together. And, I've had both AKC registered animals, and I've also had a lot of rescues in my life. I like the fact that you had mentioned, Arlene, about the breeds, because a lot of breeds, right, especially if you're going to be using them for show purposes or using them for fast cat or something else, one of these kinds of matches, it really does matter where you get your breeding, right?
Absolutely, it does.
So maybe tell me a little bit about that.
Well, people fail to remember that purebreds need a home too.
Right.
And we preserve the bloodlines of the animals. So in 10 years, when you want a corgi puppy, you can get a corgi puppy.
Right.
I think a lot of irresponsible breeding started when they started doing mixed breeds. Not that I have anything against mixed breeds, because I own 2 already.
Most of us do,
that don't know that they're dogs.
Right.
So our animals are bred to do specific things,
right.
Like the deerhounds, which is a sight hound. The Scottish deerhounds, marvelous dogs, but they are bred to hunt. They use sight. I owned a basset hound, and that's a scent hound. So over the time, these animals have been developed, and AKC takes in every year. They usually add 4 or 5 new breeds to their register. that are not seen all the time.
Right.
To promote responsible breeding, with the AKC breeders, they are tested, the parents are tested, the puppies are vaccinated, and
A lot of safety measures taken.
A lot of safety measures go into the AKC breeding.
We had an Australian Shepherd that was from an AKC breeder and everything. We've had a Cocker Spaniel from an AKC breeder, and there was a lot of steps for them to become part of that and to have this, registered breed. And it was also really interesting in terms of just, I've seen both sides in terms of the care given. And it was a very high level of care and a high level of intent towards vaccination and making sure that, these dogs were healthy. Kind of all goes into that responsible breeding, right?
Well, let me just make a note. We have several breeders within just even our kennel club.
Sure.
And every time somebody whelps a litter of puppies, we don't see them for months.
Yeah.
So they're right there with the puppies. The parents are tested, the puppies are tested, and everything is done through good veterinary care.
Right.
So when that puppy is sold to its new owner, the highest quality of care has gone into that puppy. They are receiving a good puppy. And you would be surprised. Everybody says, well, rescue. Well, purebreds need a home too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I agree with that 100%. What we are trying to avoid are these puppy mills. When there's backyard breeding, sometimes you run into inbreds. And when you run into inbreds, you're running into health issues, behavioral issues. Yes. And that's everything we're trying to avoid, because then these animals end up at the shelter. So responsible breeding. And
unadoptable.
Yes.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Unadoptable.
Yes. So responsible breeding, especially like what the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, promotes, is great. It really is.
Yeah, it's true.
It helps with prevent those issues that fill up the shelters.
Right.
So absolutely.
Well, and it's kind of interesting that you mention all that too, because somebody who is who's a backyard breeder, it can't be responsible. They can be. I've seen those too.
Yes,
but at the same time, a lot of them aren't, or they don't take specific care, or the way that they're breeding, or the animals that they're breeding, they end up having a lot of health issues and a lot of unfortunate things happen, and some defects and things. And it's really sad for the animal, because they're the ones who have to live with that their whole life. And like you said, oftentimes those are very tough to adopt out.
They're basically unadoptable. And then a lot of times what rises out of that is aggression and such like that, and basically a breed that's normally not aggressive.
Right.
So it's kind of
you don't know what you're getting when you're kind of mixing some of those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have to be very careful of the parents that you select for the breeding. So there's just a lot more to it than letting nature take its course.
Right. Yeah, there's all kinds of things. Even the care and cleaning and everything of the facility that you're using and everything really matters. Totally understand that. And I think that's good to get out there to the community. That I know some people, they get a couple of dogs and they think, well, I'm going to breed these things, make some money. And while that sounds like a good idea, there's a lot of things that go into it. We don't want to add to the issues that are out there, because we do have a lot of animals throughout the year. How many animals would you say go through the Nancy J. Brua each year?
So last year we got 1,200 animals, and right now we have 109 that are on the books. And I know that it's not all backyard breeders.
Oh, yeah.
I just ask that if it is something you're going to do, at least ensure that the puppies are getting fixed, because you don't want other people to breed those puppies in a not acceptable manner,
right?
And continue to breed and breed and breed and breed.
Well, unfortunately, too, some people, as they get a puppy and they say, "Oh, wow, I didn't realize this was going to be so much work," and then now you have the puppy and it's not fixed, and there's all these things go into it, and it becomes somebody else's burden so oftentimes, and we see it all the time.
Yes, and I know it's not cheap to get animals sterilized,
Right.
which is why we also work together with the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter,
That's right.
the Arizona Pet License Plate Program, to receive funding for low-cost spay-neuter. So if you live in the area, Sierra Vista, surrounding communities, contact us, and we can let you know when the next vaccination clinic or spay-neuter clinic is going to be.
Right.
We offer $1,000 every year to the BAR for the spay neuter program.
And I love that so many, whether you're looking at a group of people who are really center focused on, preserving breeding, or whether you're looking at a group that's just rescues, or, like the Friends of Sierra Vista Animal Shelter that I represent, we don't have a rescue, but you're kind of our rescue. Mm-hmm. And so we support you financially and everything like that, and by volunteering our help. So I love that everybody comes together to solve that problem and to kind of ensure that mission is accomplished.
Yes, and in this room right now, this is proof that we can get along, we can find common ground, we can work
100%.
together, and that's my goal, is to have this unified understanding with organizations that we are not fighting against each other.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I've got to mention that the Kennel Club last year, with the funds that they have, and we're still in the planning stages, but it's going to happen. We are getting another fence portion added to our playground area.
Oh, awesome.
It's like a little safety space on the backside where there isn't a safe gate to open, where you don't have to worry about the dogs escaping. So the Kennel Club is helping us build a little kind of like a capture, capture
awesome.
area. And that's happening pretty soon. I mean, they're donating that to us. To help the volunteers, to help our playground. We don't have to worry about the volunteers having to take the route all the way around the shelter to get to the play yard. It's another safe entrance.
And we've all know about that, having the dog light out in front of you and you're running after this dog. Well, none of us is getting any younger.
No,
right.
we are not.
and a lot of dogs are coming in and going out,
Yes.
and so it can be a problem, and we don't. And of course, we're the Nancy J is close to a highway, and we don't want, God forbid, have any problems there either.
That is correct. So we really appreciate the help that we're receiving from the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, and getting
awesome.
this little safety fence built on our play yard.
No, that's incredible. That's incredible. Well, let's talk some more. We want to talk more about celebrating animals, when it is, and what's going on with it. We'll be right back after these brief messages from our sponsors, and we'll talk more about celebrating animals. This is Dion Ethell with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios, and this is Keepin' It Real. We'll be right back.
We're the real wayfinders, the trailblazers, the go-getters. In a town where the desert wakes before dawn, we don't just talk, we make things happen. And when we speak, it's real, it's genuine, and it's worth hearing. Tune in every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on Cool 104.1 FM. Join the Sherry Ethell Team for Keepin' It Real, where top realtors, local heroes, and the heartbeat of our community come together. Raw, authentic conversations, expert market insights, and the best local events you can't afford to miss. Keepin' It Real, celebrating our community. Bold, genuine, one of a kind.
All right, welcome back to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell, and I'm your host for the Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios, Keepin' It Real. And I'm here joined today by Lisa Radwill. She's with the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club and with the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center. I've got the supervisor here, Arlene Garcia from the Sierra Vista Police Department. Welcome you guys back to the show.
Thank you.
Just talking about celebrating animals. This is all going on. We haven't mentioned when it's going to be. It's Saturday, May 9th, right?
That's right. Next Saturday, just bring your friends, family, your well-behaved dogs to Veterans Memorial Park from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're having our Celebrating Animals event. A beautiful day. You can come out and just have a picnic, talk to people. Whether you plan on adopting or not, you can go check out the animals, but not just adoptable animals, other animals, reptiles, snakes, alpacas. I love the alpaca people when they come out. They are amazing. Greyhawk Nature Center. Everybody loves Bill Schumacher, the snake guy, with his
right?
giant boa named Luna, and everybody loves to see him. Just all sorts of critters and people and activities, events, demonstrations. So much going on.
Now, you mentioned you can bring your responsible dog there, your safe dog, but it has to be on a leash, right?
Yes.
So everybody has to be on a leash. That's the law. Do you have any tips on when your dog, obviously dogs love to say hello to each other, right?
Yes.
But your dog doesn't necessarily know another dog, especially if you got a big dog or a little dog or whatever. Any tips on how they should meet?
So my first thing is to avoid any contact.
Okay.
That is just my first thought. You don't know. You might be comfortable with your dog. You might think your dog isn't going to react, but you never know how the other dog is. Even if the person says, "Oh, he's friendly," you got to think about this. Animals are still individuals.
Right.
And they may encounter that one dog that they do not like for whatever reason.
Well, even my
Whatever
dogs,
reason.
sometimes if one gets in the face of another, it might, their hair gets all stand up and they get irritated with it if they keep getting in their face.
Yes, I mean, if you all have brothers and sisters, you get into fights with your siblings, no matter how well you know them. As a matter of fact, we sometimes fight more with the ones we love, right?
Sure.
So, but anyway, back to the dogs. Dogs are individuals, and they you never know how they're going to react. I always say never underestimate the power of animal instinct. They're still animals. If you are going to have a meet and greet or do a meet and greet, it is always recommended that they sniff each other's butts first.
Right.
It really is the first step.
Totally okay.
Yep. Instead of going face to face, on the side, a little butt sniff.
A lot of people misinterpret that and think they will get out of the other dog's butt, but that's kind of how they do it.
That is how they do it. That is how they know if they can start feeling comfortable. Oh, okay, this dog's butt smells okay, so let me check out the rest of them,
Yeah.
And then you let them take turns. Okay, he sniffed his butt, your turn to sniff the other butt. I know it's kind of funny, but that's the right way to do it.
Ritual, yeah.
But even better, we're going to have several dog trainers at Celebrating Animals, and they will be the ones to give you the best advice on how to do a proper meet and greet. I am the one that will untrain your dog. So while you're trying to teach your dog, don't jump on people, I'm the one calling them up. Come here, puppy, come here. So
and there will be a lot of people doing that, I'm sure, that day.
So I always tell people, I can give you a little bit of advice, but really talk to a dog trainer. I will untrain your dog. Yeah. It's just
and so I think that's a great advice for people, and making sure too that you have a short leash kind of on them. I know some people tend to let their dog kind of get out their way in front of them.
Thank you for mentioning that. Please avoid using retractable leashes. They're thin, they're not reliable, they're not strong, and having them on such a loose leash in an area where there's going to be other animals and other people and kids and hot dogs falling on the ground and dog fights.
Lots of distractions.
You want to be able to have as much control as possible.
Right.
Therefore, keep a shorter leash. Keep the animal closer to you and to your body.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. Oh, and carry some poopy bags with you too.
100%. Yeah, nobody wants to see a dog do its business and then you not clean it up. So
if you happen to forget, the Sierra Vista Animal Shelters area, you'll see our big trailer. We always bring some extra.
Okay. Yeah, definitely take care of that.
Yes.
Yeah, and with those long leashes sometimes too, I've seen it before. Luckily, people are pretty responsible at this event. So, knock on wood, we haven't had a lot of issues there. But people get that long leash and two long leashes get together, and sure enough, the dogs get wrapped around each other, and that's when a problem happens. Because they feel restricted, and now they're right on top of each other,
That's
and
right.
so
They
it can
get
be a real bad
frightened.
show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something I've learned, if your dogs happen to get in a scuffle, instead of using your hands, your arm to try to break the dogs apart, push the dogs from behind into each other.
Well, okay.
Instead of trying to pull apart, you want to try to keep yourself safe, and so pushing them into each other might cause them to release quicker than you pulling on them.
Okay.
And when you're pulling on them, they may redirect, and you're going to get bit.
Okay, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that before, pushing into it. I know that you definitely want to come back from the backside because you're going to get bit probably, even by your own dog, unfortunately, because they're scared, they're startled, they're whatever, and dogs are dogs, they're animals, and not entirely their fault. So, you put your hand down there, you risking yourself getting bit.
Yes, and having something firm like a stick, or we call them break stick, you just shove something in their mouth to try to pry it open, but you push in, not pull back.
Yeah. Another reason why the professionals will be out there in force that day, you'll have the animal control officers out there, which if you get a chance, when you go out there to the park that day, and again, this is all at Veterans Memorial Park, 3105 East Fry Boulevard, so open to the public, 100% free. But when you're out there, take some time to go over and thank an animal control officer for what they do. Thank these rescues for what they do, because a lot of work goes into taking care of these animals, and they take a lot of pride in what they do. I don't think you'll find anybody at this event who isn't hyper committed to the mission.
Exactly. To be in this type of profession, you gotta have a love or a passion for it, because otherwise, it isn't the profession for you. You gotta have a love for it, because it can get tough. And I would really appreciate if you do say thank you to our animal control officers. We just celebrated in the month of April Animal Control Appreciation Week, and they go through a lot. They go through a lot of scrutiny too. They're still this day and age, they're still seen as a dog catcher versus an animal care person. They are seen as, oh my gosh, here comes animal control to take my dog. Well, we really try not to. We really try our best to educate, to help you resolve an issue, to inform you, give you different types of options. The last thing we want to do is to have to take that pet to the shelter and for it to sit at the shelter, wait for it to get adopted. So we're going to do our best for you to be able to keep your dog. We're going to try to teach you or show you by our standards, by the Arizona standards, proper responsible pet ownership is what I'm trying to say. And so that being said, animal control officers are not out to get you and your dog. Right. They're out to try to keep you and the community safe and your pet safe.
100%, right. Enforcement's a real thing, but at the same time, I've met all of them. All the animal control officers are super friendly if you get to know them, and they really love the animals and they love what they're doing, or they wouldn't be there.
If you've ever met the police department's community service officer named Amber Laring, she has now joined our team and is an animal control officer in training, and she's going to be absolutely amazing. She already is.
Well, I love that. I love that. So if somebody was out there listening right now and they haven't been to one of these before, we've said that you can bring your dog if it's well behaved, and keep it on a short leash. Make sure it's leashed and the collar fits appropriately. Better to have a harness than a collar and on your leash. Leashes, really work well if you've got a harness and something that you can grab if there is a problem, an issue. We love to see well behaved animals, but sometimes there's a lot of distractions there and things going on, but we want you to visit all the booths and things like that. This thing's going from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., so it's several hours there, so you have a lot of opportunity. Let me ask you, steer to Lisa a little bit here. What are you guys going to be doing there?
Well, we're offering a confirmation match, which is a display. Confirmation is unaltered dogs intact. It was originally formed years ago because as breeding stock. And this is how we exhibit the dogs. We are all called exhibitors as we're showing our dogs. So we're doing a small match show, which is kind of interesting to come and watch. We will have the bleachers set up outside of our ring. We're also going to see if we can get a couple of demonstrations in there. And then we're going to do canine good citizen testing. And a lot of people, and I'm going to put a blurb out on the canine good citizen testing, because your canine is your responsibility. You're responsible for the actions of that dog.
Right.
And the more you train your dog, we're going to have some of the trainers come in and do some demonstrations in our ring too.
Okay.
So the testing and the confirmation, it's kind of fun to watch to how that kind of they compete.
And you'll have some of your club members out there who, if
Absolutely.
you had a question about
Absolutely.
breeding or things like that,
Yes.
or just, if you're considering, whether it be a rescue or you're considering, something that's AKC bred and you have that option.
Purebreds need homes too.
100%.
But it's understanding the breed you've chosen and what its attributes are, and they all have their faults too.
Right.
So understanding your dog, and this is, like I said, why confirmation was originally formed, is for people to be able to showcase the beauty of the dogs. You see some of the most perfectly coiffed dogs. I mean, the grooming. So we pretty much touch on everything. And if you have any questions about the breeding world or the show world or match or rally competitions, we're the people to see.
Yeah, that sounds great. I love the fact, too, that you're giving the demonstrations there to kind of give people a little bit of understanding, what do you look for in an animal? A lot of people don't know, or maybe they see the AKC on TV or something and they're watching, the big show or something like that. But, here you can see it firsthand and ask questions.
Well,
we
do have an AKC judge that will be doing Judge Charlotte Borghardt, and she is just a marvelous judge. And she is also incredibly knowledgeable about breeding and why do we do this.
Sure. Well, and it's a whole nother world, right? The competitive side of things. If that's something that you're interested in, that's a great opportunity to learn about it and get involved and whatnot, because it's a whole thing. And it's like another part of the world of animals, and it's great that you're going to be there.
Yes, and we also have Leslie Bryant coming to do the CGC testing for us. So if you want to get your dog, even if, find out what your dog can do and get that canine good citizen testing. It goes a long way. I have 2 mutts, but both mine have their CGC titles because that's just how we do it at our house.
And the CGC title, what is that?
The canine good citizen.
Okay.
I'll take my little Max. He's half Chihuahua and half Jack Russell Terrier.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Just kidding.
That's what I said.
Must be a character. Yep.
Yeah, he's all energy.
Yeah.
And but he is one of those dogs that he does 45 tricks on command.
Wow.
And he's quite the little ham. And but he's one of those dogs that if we get up to a curb, he automatically sits and waits, and he doesn't go any further until he's given a break. The break command. This is what I'm talking about with Canine Good Citizen.
100%. Well, let's take a quick break and we'll come back, and then I want to talk to you, Arlene, about a little bit about the training and why that's so important in terms of pet ownership and things like that, and then talk once more about celebrating animals coming up Saturday, May 9th. So that's next Saturday, right? And we'll be right back, folks, with Keeping It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team. We'll be right back.
Tax time is here, but before you spend your refund, consider real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. It's a great way to move from renter to homeowner and on the road to building wealth.
Hi, I'm Sherry Ethell, Realtor and Team CEO of the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. Think of me as your guide to all things real estate. I tailor my approach to your needs and, most importantly, your goals. It's time to come see me and get a plan for your success.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Visit Sherry at Long Realty behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more information. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back to Keeping It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team right here at Long Realty Studios behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. I'm here joined, if you're just tuning in, I'm Dion Ethell, I'm your host, and I'm tuning in here with a couple of great guests here in the studio today. I've got Lisa Radwill, and she's from the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, and I've also got Arlene Garcia from the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center. She's the supervisor over there with the police department. Now, Arlene, I just wanted to kind as we kind of talked about the show before the break, we talked about leashing and we talked about greeting other pups and we've talked about so many different things. What am I missing here? What kinds of things should we be thinking about during this event?
So during this event, folks bring their children, and I absolutely love that because this should be a family-friendly event.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So, talk to your children and explain to them not to just run up to a dog because it's so cute and you want to love it and squeeze it and call it George because that's, what I would have done too. But no, unfortunately, you learn that some dogs may be startled, may react to that, may not like children, may feel threatened. Who knows what the situation is.
It doesn't matter what size either, right?
Nope,
little or
doesn't matter
small.
what size. It can be little or small. I mean, I've been bitten more by smaller dogs than bigger dogs.
100%.
It happens. So just to make sure that everybody is safe and we don't set up these animals or these pets for failure, let's teach our children. If you want to pet the doggy, ask the owner first and ask them what is the proper way that the dog is comfortable being petted. Most dogs don't like getting their face, touched or grabbed or their ears grabbed. I have my Ruby does not like her ears touched for some reason. If you are given permission, you touch their back. You can stroke their fur on the back and behind the ears, things like that. But always ask for permission first. And not just the children, people too, because we have some adults out there that want to, run and grab and hug and squeeze the doggy.
Yeah.
Make sure you ask the owner for permission first.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great point. We actually went on a big trip earlier last month and we did a trip to New Zealand. And so it took us through a lot of airports and a lot of different places that we weren't normally at. And we saw a lot of dogs. And, that's one of the things that we always do when we come up there. Hey, can we pet your dog? And, you could even ask them when they say, oh, sure.
Yes.
Is it okay to pet their ear or is it okay to pet their belly or whatever, and just to make sure that you know what you're doing there and that it's going to be appropriate for their pet.
That's right. And just to be mindful, some service animals are not meant to be petted.
Yeah.
So if the owner tells you, oh, no, please don't, it's a working animal or working dog, just respect that. It's not out of, being rude or grumpy or anything like that. Just some service animals are not meant to be petted. They are working.
Sure.
They're doing their job and they shouldn't be distracted. And just to, keep that in mind, you are going to see several animals, not just at our event, but, out at the stores, out at the restaurants, you're going to see these and just avoid, going up to them to just pet them. That would not be the right thing to do.
Right.
So keep yourself safe, keep your animals safe, keep your children safe, and just don't set up the dog for failure. Unfortunately, even if it's current on a rabies vaccine, dogs that bite a person need to be quarantined for up to 10 days. And then they kind of have that little record in the system that they have a bite. And, you really want to avoid that.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Yeah. And I was thinking too, there's going to be a lot of people out there from various training groups and whatnot. And it's real popular to see people out there using the park and using, events and stuff as opportunities to train their dogs around other dogs. And so there may be some people out there who don't want their dog petted because they're kind of in training mode.
That is correct. And I'm glad you bring up training. The other, I guess, purpose of celebrating animals when we invite all these animal welfare organizations and animal-related businesses, we're going to have various dog trainers there from different they're each have different types or styles. Different styles is what I want to say. You're going to have Soldier's Best Friend, Hero Paws, Sit Mean Sit, Rocky Boatman, and just, other dog trainers. And what I want to say is when people ask us, who's the best dog trainer in town? There's no answer to that because it's going to depend on your dog, your needs. Each dog is an individual and will respond differently to, the type of training.
Right.
So this training might work for dog A and this training might work for dog B, but this other training might not work for
Right.
For
For
them.
another
So
dog.
for another dog. So yes,
Yeah.
there's no who is the best. There's none of that. It's just going to depend what your personal preference is, what the issue is. Some trainers might specialize more in service dog training, while others are more specialized in animal behavior as far as aggression and resource guarding and things like that.
Right.
So it just
and the training
explore all of
itself
them.
is like really broad too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you might be doing training as a group, you might be doing training as a single, there's just such a broad range of specialties. It really is focused and centered around your animal and you.
That's
Sometimes
right.
the people need more training than the dog does.
That's right. And I think most dog trainers will tell you that it's more about training the owner.
Yeah.
Because there's no use in your dog going through this training program if once you get your dog back home or once you're done with the program,
Right.
you're not going to follow through with what needs to be done to ensure that the dog continues learning good habits or, following what he or she has learned.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And so, you see a lot of dogs come through the shelter. We talked about 1,200 dogs a year. That's a lot of animals that come through. And there's varying degrees of well-being and various degrees. Some come injured. Some come, have other issues going on. Some have come from rough houses. For the training piece of it, I know you guys, try to do some things over there with the animals to kind of get them back into shape. What do you guys do over there?
Right now, we're running our Priceless Pups program. And the doggies who've been at the shelter for 9 months or longer, we're really trying to focus on getting them out of the shelter.
Right.
No matter how much we love our dogs, no matter how much we try our best to not have to euthanize for lack of space, or we avoid euthanizing as much as possible. We try to ensure that the animals that we have up for adoption are adoptable, but if their health starts to decline while they're at the shelter because they've been there for too long, we need to do what's right. And sometimes if we are unable to get them into a home, humane euthanasia is the right answer.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can before we get to that point.
Right.
So these Priceless Pups right now are being offered with 6 weeks of dog training through Rocky Boatman, being sponsored by Arrows Landing Rescue.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's huge.
That's
huge.
huge.
Training, specialized training can be a little costly. It's so worthwhile. You would be shocked. I've had numerous of our animals going through training, and night and day. We had some real struggles with one of our dogs who kind of came in and took over the pack and became the alpha. And it really shook up our group because I have 6 dogs. And that can be a challenge too when you, even with 2 dogs, can be a mix.
What's that, Peaches?
No, it was actually Zoe,
okay.
which she's one of the smallest of our dogs. But she's a little pit bull mix, and she's just, and you never know which one's going to become the alpha. You think you know, but you really don't until you get them together. And surprisingly, she became the alpha, and she was the muscle, a little bit.
Yes.
But what's weird is that she caused kind of this cascade of issues with other animals in our pack. And so they, suddenly you had a new enforcer, you had another one doing this, and they would gang up, and that training changed everything. Everything.
Yes.
And my household is peaceful, and there's no fights, and everybody is well behaved, and they know their places, and they're super friendly. We've had as many at family get-togethers and stuff as 17 dogs at my house.
Wow.
17 dogs.
Wow.
And they were all happy, never a fight. So that's amazing. It speaks volumes to the level of value in this dog training. And so I just wanted to say that folks, I know that can be expensive. but it's so well worth it. And the fact that somebody's doing that for you guys is amazing.
Yes, thank you to Shayna from Arrows Landing, sponsoring 6 weeks of dog training through Rocky Boatman to these priceless pups. If you are interested, if you've been thinking about getting a dog, but what's stopping you is not being able to pay for training once you get one,
Sure.
with one of these priceless pups, you may not have to worry about that.
Yeah.
When we do the event with the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter, our Pups on Parade,
Right.
usually Sit Means Sit will sponsor dog trainings for the dogs that are at the Pups on Parade. So we have this great relationship with so many dog trainers in Sierra Vista. There's not one that is our favorite. It depending on what problem we're having is who we're going to call. It's really great. Luckily, we also have a wonderful relationship with Hero Paws and Soldier's Best Friend.
Yep.
They take dogs from the shelter and train them to be service animals. Right now, Soldier's Best Friend has a program, and they take shelter dogs to a prison, I believe in the area of Globe, and they have prisoners, a program where prisoners are being taught how to train dogs, and they use shelter dogs to train and take care of them. And once they leave the prison, the dogs, once they leave the program, they're trained. We have a young puppy right now named Oreo that is going through the boot camp, I call it, a puppy boot camp with a prisoner, teaching them tricks and teaching them manners and good behavior. So we are trying our best to make these dogs as adoptable as possible. We've been declared a no-kill shelter, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen.
Right.
Euthanasia won't happen. As a municipal shelter, it's also seen as a need.
Yeah.
And being behind the scenes on the euthanasias, I have a very different point of view on it. And we are very gentle. We do it as safely and caringly as possible. And there's no suffering. We're not the bad guy. We're really thinking on the well-being of these animals.
Absolutely.
And sometimes euthanasia is the right thing to do rather than leaving them in a kennel going a little nutty and becoming unhealthy.
Yeah, it's tough. And I hope everybody listening out there, if you're thinking about a rescue, that you come down to the shelter and take a look at what they have. Like say 1,200 pets go through those doors, and it's so important to keep those animals going to positive environments and great homes. They're so awesome. I mean, I have 6 rescues right now, and they have been giving us a lifetime of just awesome friendship and just, terrific pets, all of them.
And if you've been thinking about turning in your animal to the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter because of behavior, give us a call. We'll put some, a word out there. We'll talk to some of our trainer supporters and see if there's a way that they can help you with your dog and you can keep it. We want to try to fix the issue while they're still at home. And so if there's anything we can do to avoid you having to turn that animal into the shelter, we'll do our best.
That's awesome. Well, that's about all we got time for. I want to thank both of you guys for coming in. Lisa, it's been wonderful. Thank you from the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club. Really enjoyed talking with you and enjoyed learning more about, breeding and just, what you guys stand for. And I love the fact that you even own, some other, mixed breeds that show kind of back to Arlene and what she said about that we all come together.
Well, I just don't want everybody to think we're just a bunch of dog snobs.
Right.
So,
well, I think that's a misconception of what you are.
I do.
Right.
I think that too.
Yeah.
So we're open to, like I said, our most of our most prominent obedience and rally are mixed breeds.
Right.
So we call them all American.
Yeah,
all American.
Exactly.
Love it. I love that. I love that.
Lisa and I probably go as far back as before the Celebrating Animals started. So it was 10 years plus.
Yeah.
And I know some of the people of the Kennel Club, Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club, for about the same amount of time too. And we've always gotten along. We've never had any issues. And as a matter of fact, our adoption trailer, the one that the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter got for us, the Greater Sierra Vista Kennel Club also contributed to the shelter being able to get this trailer. Yeah. And their logo is on that trailer.
Yeah.
So,
no, I
yeah.
love that you guys are a symbiotic partner. So many of us are, and we couldn't do it without everybody being involved. So I just love that.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Arlene, for all the great tips and advice. And once more, again, Celebrating Animals is next Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Park. You heard it right here. Celebrating Animals. We hope to see you out there. Another great show. Appreciate you guys coming down for it and spending a Saturday with us and talking about this great event. Hope everybody will come out and remember those leashes if you come out with your dog or cat. I did see a cat actually recently at one of the stores over at the dollar store. I saw somebody walking their cat, and I'd not seen that in town before. But make sure that you got them on a leash and that they're well behaved and that you're extra careful when you encounter another animal. Any last words from either of you?
Just look forward to seeing everybody. Come on, let's make this a good, nice event. Come pet some pups.
Love it. Thank you both.
Thanks again.
This is Keepin' It Real. Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios. We'll be right back after these brief messages when we hear from Sherry herself.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
That brings us to the end of another Keepin' It Real radio show, and we just want to say a big thank you for letting us be a small part of your weekend. Whether you're a longtime listener or just caught us for the first time today, we're so glad you're here. Got something you'd love us to talk about? Maybe a local story, a cool event, maybe a guest idea. Maybe you're related to or know someone who has an interesting story, profession, or past. We would love to hear from you, so drop it in our Keepin' It Real suggestion box at Long Realty. We're located just behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. Or if it's easier, you can email me directly at sherry@sherryetthelteam.com or call me or text me at 717-599-2439. This is your show, and it's all about our community, our connections, and the what's up of Cochise County, and as always, keeping things real. And your voice will help shape what we do next. We'll see you next Saturday from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 104.1 Cool FM, making radio cool again.
Join us next Saturday for more engaging interviews with top realtors and industry leaders, keeping you informed about the latest trends in real estate. Stay connected with us as we bring you updates on the dynamic events shaping our vibrant community. From exciting local happenings to noteworthy charities and causes, we've got you covered. See you next week for another edition of Keepin' It Real.